MOE. MOE is the short form of the Memorandum of Association. And this is MOA is a very important document of the company, and it states all the objectives of the company, whether main objectives of the company or objective ancillary to the achievements or the major objectives of the company. So this is there are so many clauses in MOA of the company, like name clause, object clause, situation clause, object domicile clause, capital clause, liability clause. So there are so many clauses in MOA of the company. So these are the mandatory documents to be submitted to ROC of the company for the purposes of incorporation of the company. And without these two documents, the company cannot be registered, cannot be incorporated itself. It is to be signed by the subscribers to memorandum session of the company. And without this signature, document is not declared as a valid document. So it is this document states the very important objectives of the company and for which the company is formed, why it is incorporated, why it is need to form into a company, needed to form into a public company or private limited companies or one-person company. This document is mandatory to be formed, mandatory to be incorporated. So this is but these two are the compulsory documents to be submitted to the startup companies for the purposes of incorporation of the company. So, and this document states, although it has other clauses also, the name clause, which I want to define in the name clause, registration clause, the domicile clause, or you can say the register office clause, or the capital clause, or the liability clause. But this document states the objectives. The objective should be legal, should not be illegal, should not be unlawful, and should be lawful. Should not to be indulged in any wrongful activity or any ill activities, any manipulations. The objective should be for the betterment of the society and for the betterment of the nation, and not to harm the community, not to harm the nation. So objective should be clearly stated in the company, for which purposes it is formed, why we form into a company, what is the reason behind the formation, what you want to do after the formation of the company, what is the objective, why you form the commercial enterprise. You have to define your nature of business, what you want to achieve after 5 years, after 10 years, your future plans, your future perspectives of the company. That is mentioned in the MOA of the company. So it also contains the rights and privileges, powers of the company. It is also a charter, because it's very important. But this is a charter. Charter of the company means very important document of the company, most important document of the company, and it is a vital interest for the company. And it is important. Why it is important? Because it contains all the important information about the company. The rights of the company, the privileges available to a company, like if it is a private limited company, it is certain privileges available to private limited company as compared to public company. And the rights and powers, there are certain rights because companies are to a person, although it is a legal person, it has certain rights, it has certain rights and certain powers. If members misusing property of the company for the personal purposes, if the member misuse the land of the company, the belongings of the company for the personal purposes, the company has a right to make the liability of the members unlimited. Those who indulge in criminal activities, the company has a right to weed, to find out the real persons who are responsible to defame the company, misuse the name of the company for their personal stake, personal interest. So there are certain rights, powers available to a company as per the Code of Law, as per the Companies Act 2013. So this is you can say the charter of the company. Without these mandatory documents to be submitted, to be prepared as per the Companies Act, as per the Companies Act 2013, and to be submitted before ROC for the purposes of the corporation. Without these two documents, company cannot be registered. So this has to be prepared. You can't agree yourself on liability preparation of this account, these documents. You have to create these documents. So it is treated as a constitution of the company, all the important details about the company, all the rights, powers, duties, everything about the liability, about the capital is mentioned in the memorandization of the company. So it is treated as a constitution of the company. It determines the relationship between the company and its outsiders. So the company, because it is separately linked to the concept, company is different, its members are different, and outsiders means the prospective investors of the company, the bankers of the company, the joint stock market, capital market, the income tax authorities, they are the outsiders of the company. So, how we understand about the company, establish your relationship, how we know about your company, in order to take decisions to invest in the company or hard-earned money. So, this document provides you information about the company, where to invest into the company or not to invest into the company. So, this document provides information about your decisions to invest into the company. So, the whole business of the company is built upon the MOA of the company. The whole business of the companies should be as per the uh, terms and conditions mentioned in the MOA of the company, and we have to follow all the procedural guidelines as you mentioned in the MOA of the company. So, this is a this states you this document gives you direction how you move or how you move forward, how you look forward about. So this is a document that gives you direction how to move forward, how to move further, and your business, the whole company, because everything is mentioned. That the document defines everything about yourself, that about your nature, about your characteristics, everything. This document states about you. So you have to run accordingly as per the MBA of the company. Uh, the memorandum defines everything about the state of the company, about the conditions of the company, the liabilities of the company, the capitals of the company. So everything is defined in MOA. So you have to run smoothly. You know everything. This is like a flow chart, like a organization flow chart. Everything is defined clearly, defined. Um, you should know. First, you don't know about yourself, then you can know the information to others. First, you know about yourself. Why you are forming into a company, for what purposes you are forming, how much capital you require for the to start your business, to extend your business, for expansion plans, for diversification plans, how much capital you require. First, you know about yourself, and you have to mention your requirements and in the MOA. Then you can tell to others, to the outsiders, to the outside world that we are in this market, we are here, and we have this. So, this document gives information, provides information, and any person can inspect this document. Any person can investigate this document by payment of nominal fees at the register office of the company. So, because these two mandatory documents open for inspection at for the general public at ROC office. So any person can inspect the books of accounts of the company, the MO of the company, A of the company by payment of certain fees as charged by ROC. So a company cannot undertake any business or activities not stated in the MOA. So you have to bind, you are bound by MOA. You can't go beyond your MOA. Whatever you mention, you have to follow that. So if you are doing activities that is not mentioned in your activities and business in MOA, you can't do that. You are not, you can't make other person liable for that because it is not mentioned in your MOA. So you are only responsible liable for the activities which you are mentioned, which is mentioned in MOA, and not beyond that. So and you are only liable for that, only responsible for that. But for whatever activity you are not mentioning in your MOA or AOA, you are not responsible for that. So company cannot undertake any business activity not stated in the memorandum. So whatever business you mention, whatever activity you mention in your memorandum, you are only responsible for that activity. If you are planning to start a new business venture that is not mentioned, you have to make an alteration. Alteration clause is there. You have to alter your memorandum and submit a copy of altered memorandum with the consent of all the members of the company in the meetings, board meetings, usual meetings. Then you can undertake any other business activities after alteration of your memorandum. Otherwise, if you are doing without alteration and you are doing any other business activities that is not mentioned, you are not responsible for that. You can't bind others for that. You can't make liable others for that. But that is not mentioned as a part of activity in your MOA. So to make it that part of that activity, you have to alter your MOA as per the company's Act. Alteration is allowed. So you have alteration also. You have to pass a resolution in meetings. Then alteration is possible. Then you can start your new business activities. If it is not mentioned, if it is mentioned, then you can start. There's no problem. If it's not mentioned, then you have to alter your MOA. So it can exercise only those powers which are clearly stated in the memorandum, clearly mentioned in the memorandum. So activities which are not mentioned in memorandum, not stated in memorandums, you can't exercise, you can't impose on others that you are doing this, you are not doing this. But it is not mentioned. If it is mentioned, that is no problem. If it is not mentioned, MOA, you can't bind others. You can't impose that do this activity which is not mentioned. We are doing alteration. After alteration, you can bind others, but not before alteration. So you have to do you have to issue a notice for the alteration memorandum. It is passed in the meeting, the resolution. Then you can bind others. Then you can give rights and duties to others for the enforcement of the MOA of the company, the other activities of the MOA of the company. Then come to the definition of memorandum association as per Lord Keynes, given by Lord Keynes. So, memorandum of association of a company is a charter, and it defines the limitation of the powers of the company established under the Act. Under the Act means under the Companies Act, previous Companies Act 1956. So, it defines a charter, and it defines your limitation. Limitations means what you can do, what you cannot do. Okay, that defines your limitations, your boundaries, your domain, your scope. You can't go beyond your domain. You have to follow the guidelines. You have to be within your domain, within your limitations. You can't take borrow loans, which is not mentioned in the MOA of the company. You only it is limit up to how much you can borrow from banks or financial institutions. That is the limit is mentioned. You can't borrow beyond. You can't go. You can't overlook your MOA of the company. You have to see what are your limits, what you can do, what you can, how much you can purchase, how much funds you have, how much you can purchase, how much you can risk. Defines your limitations, your area. So then contents of memorandum of association, according to the Companies Act, the Companies Act 1956 or the latest Companies Act 2013. The memorandum of association of a company contains the following clauses, which I already discussed, but again I'm discussing the name clause of the MOA. The name clause, a very important clause of MOA of the company that defines the name of the company and name of its subsidiaries and name of affiliate companies. Name is very important. Name should not be similar, should not be identical, should be acceptable, should be appropriate, should not be appropriate, should be decent, should not be indecent, should not remark to any committee, should not hurt the sentiments of any committee or nation, should be respectable name, should not be named to any country or nation, not similar word. So name is very important. By name you call yourself, by name you call other words. So name is very important. Name gives you identity, name defines you, what type of company you are, what type of person you are. By your name, by name we can define it as a private limited company, it is public limited company. So name is very important. That gives you identity, that gives you defines you as a person, as a nature, characteristics. So name is very important. That is not by name you know, no, but this is a private limited company. This is a public limited company. So name is very important. Name defines you. Name tell about you. which type of company, which kind of company, or which nature of company, the size. Also, we can understand by your name. So the name should be very important. A name should not remark any comment on any committee. Should not disregard to any committee, any society, any nation. Name should be not be similar, should be unique, and name should clearly explain what you want. The association clause of memorandum of association. Association clause is that is your place of your head office or domicile of association clause of an association. It defines the place of your head office. You keep all your books and accounts of the company, important documents of the company, a name of the company, A of the company, and reports of the company, financial statements of the company, the books, all the important documentation, all the receipts, bills, cash books, purchase books, all the ledger books are kept at the registered office of the company or at the office of the company. So you have to specify your domicile clause or succession clause. This is very important. Then object clause of memorandum session. Object clause is the clause that defines the objectives of the company. Objectives, the main objectives of the company, or the objective ancillary to the achievements of the main objectives of the company. Object clause defines your objects, defines your boundaries, limitations. An object should be legal, should be lawful, should not be legal, should not be lawful. That is what the object clause of the memorandum of session. Then liability clause of MOU. So liability clause is the that defines your liabilities limited by nature or limited company limited by guarantee, liabilities limited by guarantee, or unlimited company unlimited liability. That is defined in the liability clause of memorandum of session of their members. Then capital clause. Capital clause define the capital of total number of shares, amount of total capital of the company divided into equity share capital, preferred share capital, all the securities debentures are there, and the total number of shares, each denomination issued by the company to the general public for subscription of shares, and this is mentioned in the capital clause. Then subscription clause of memorandum session. Subscription is subscribers to memorandum of session, and that is subscription clause of the company. This person is okay or that person is okay or complete someone. So name clause of MOA, starting the name clause in detail. The name of the company should be stated in this clause. Already defined the name of the company. Whatever company it is, ABCL Limited company or Reliance India company, that is the name of the company. Tata Steel Limited, this is the name of the company. Birla Cement, this is the name of the company. So Aditya Birla Group. So this is the name of the company, and should be stated in this clause. The name of the company, and the company is free to select any name. Whether you are free. Although you are free to select any name, it likes whatever name you like. You can give to a company starting with umbrella, whatever your name you like. Which type of name you like, you can give to a company. But the name should not be identical. What I already told you, should not be identical or similar to that of a already registered company. So name should not be similar. Should not be same of already registered company. It is already Aditya Birla Group company is there. You can't give your company Aditya Birla. You have to change the name of your company. Although you wish to give that name, but you can't give it, because it is already given by any other company, any other registered company. So you cannot give that particular name. So you have to change your name. You have to change your name. And it should not also use words like king, queen, emperor, common bodies, and names of world bodies like UNO, WHO, World Bank, etc. It should not also use words. You cannot use the words which king gives, queen, emperor, common bodies, and names of all bodies like world visit. You cannot use that particular already used by these particular bodies. So you cannot use that particular name for your company. You have to change. If you wish to use, like to use, you cannot use. But it is not allowed to use. It is not acceptable. If you are using the king, the name of the king or queen, or emperor of the state or government of common bodies, name of world bodies like UN, WHO, World, etc. If it is public company, the name of the company should end with the word limited. But in the case of private limited company, that is also defined. The name of the word should be end with private limited. Then come to the situation clause of memorandum of association. Association clause means you can say domicile clause or registered office clause or association clause. So in this clause, the name of the state where the company registered office is located, situated, is mentioned in the name clause. Suppose the registered office is in Haryana. So name of the state is mentioned here, is state Haryana. So you have to mention the name of the state where the company registered office is located, and it should be mentioned in the name of the state. And the registered office means a place where the common seal, statutory books, all the important documents of the company, whether it is MOA of the company, articles of association of the company, books of accounts of the company, ledger books of the company, cash flow statement, funds flow statement, accounting ratio, annexures to the financial statements, all the important bills, a copy of the bills, cash book, cash memos are kept and prepared, all the receipts are kept and prepared. So registered office means a place where the common seal, the statutory books, etc. of the companies are kept. The company should intimate. Intimate means inform about the location of the registered office to the registrar of company within 30 days from the date of incorporation or commencement of business. So it should be informed. Intimate means should be informed, should be notified to the ROC of the company within 30 days of incorporation about your location of your registered office. If it is in Haryana, where in Haryana? Panchkula, where in Haryana? You have to specify the place in where registered office is stated. You have to specify the name of the place, full address of your registered office. That is the station clause of a memorandum of association. Again, the registered office of the companies can be shifted. If you want to shift a registered office from Delhi to Jaipur, then you have to take a permission. You have to take a permission, register, you have to inform. You have to conduct a meeting in this respect for the shifting of your place of office from Delhi to Jaipur. So you have to inform to the registered office or registered at a particular state, Rajasthan, at Jaipur, and you have to inform to this registrar of companies that we are doing our business. Shifting from this place, keeping all our documents, this is our head office, district office, not now in, earlier it is in Delhi, but now it is in Jaipur. So you have to inform the registrar of companies at Jaipur, that is at Rajasthan state, that we are doing all our business activities, keeping all our accounts, all important documents at this particular place, not in this place in Delhi. So we are shifting from Delhi to Jaipur, and that is to be informed. That is to be informed to the registrar of particular state. That and it is to be informed to the it is to be informed general public as well, and it is to be informed, notified to the members of the company as well. And company should take hold a meeting to discuss such agendas of shifting of their place of head office from Delhi to Jaipur. So you have to conduct a board meetings and annual meetings and agenda should be there when you shift. from Delhi to Jaipur. But in some situation, the company may want to shift its registered office to another town within the state. So, company may shift its office to another town within the state. Can shift another town in say, in Delhi. You will shift in Delhi, Noida, Delhi, NCR, near NCR region, Gurgaon. So you have to inform within the state. In Delhi also you can shift from South Delhi to North Delhi. So within same state, within same town, we can want to shift. You have to inform. You have to inform to the ROC that we are shifting from South Delhi to North Delhi. So in some situations, the company want to shift its registered office to another town within the same state. So these are the conditions are there, but intimation is there. You have to intimate, you have to notify, you have to issue notice to the public that we are shifting our registered office from within Delhi, from the north this place to this place. You have to inform. You have to notify to municipal as well. One municipal as well notify a change of your place of registered office within Delhi from South Delhi, even though to North Delhi. You have to specify. You have to specify, and you have to inform to the ROC of the company that we are shifting from within Delhi, from South Delhi to Northwest Delhi. Then, under such circumstances, a special resolution has been passed in any meeting to shift the place of business from one place to another within the same state or from one state to another. You have to intimate, you have to notify first to your members, conduct a meeting for that, pass a special resolution for that, and that then you inform to the ROC or the company for shifting your place from Delhi to Jaipur, or shift from Delhi to Mumbai. You have to inform to the ROC of Mumbai, ROC of Delhi, that we are shifting from this particular state. And accordingly, you have to alter your memorandum situation. Alteration, legal alteration, it is not acceptable. You have to submit a copy of altered MOA to the registrar of office. Then come to the object clause of memorandum of association. Object clause of the company, object clause of memorandum association of the company, that is also a very important clause of MOA of the company. And this clause specifies the object for which the company is formed. Why you form the company? The objective should be already specified. Objective should be legal, should not be illegal, should be acceptable, should be feasible to achieve. It is not imaginary things to achieve. It should be feasible. Whatever you are deciding, you are able to achieve in coming future in year 10, 20 years. That is our vision after 10 years, after 20 years. That should be mentioned in the objectives. For which the company is formed? Why company is formed? Objective is to earning profit, to acceleration of profit, or reducing unemployment, doing corporate social responsibilities, curbing pollution, whatever objective for which you are formed, you have to specify. You have to specify in your object clause of memorandum of association. So it is difficult to alter object clause later on otherwise. So you have to, because there are certain formalities involved in the alteration of object clause, you have to do alteration, you have to conduct a meeting, then file the issue notice of the meeting, then file the meeting, then prepare the minutes of the meeting, then submit a copy of minutes of the meeting to the ROC of the company, then copy of some altered ROC, altered MOA to the ROC of the company. There are so many legal formalities involved in that. So better is to decide initially the clear manner, define clearly for which objective you are formed. So, and it is necessary that the promoter should draft this clause carefully in the initial stages during corporation of the company. Why it is formed? Why will incorporate into the business enterprise? Because it is difficult to, the legal formalities are too much to formation of company. It is better to decide initially, but otherwise later you have to pay the consequences of this not deciding clearly what purposes you are forming into corporate enterprise. It should be defined clearly earlier. Otherwise, it is you have to pay the consequences later on. This clause mentions all the possible types of business in which a company will engage in future. All the possible types of business. Whatever you want to do, you want to do agri business, you want to do fishery business, you want to do some poultry farming, and so whatever business you are doing, you are doing manufacturing sector, whatever you are doing, you should specify clearly your possible types of business in which you are looking to engage in. In agriculture also there's farming is there, fish farming is there, potato farming is there, onion farming is there, grains are there, grain farming is there. So we have to decide which type of business you are into, and then accordingly, agri business also, poultry farming is there, fishery element is there, fish business is there. So which type of business you want to do, you have to decide in advance. Otherwise, and carefully also. Otherwise, you have to pay the consequences in coming future if you not decided clearly for which purposes you are forming yourself as a business enterprise. That should be mentioned clearly in the object clause of the MOA of the company. So, object clause must contain the most important objectives of the company and other objectives not included above. So, I already explained this point. The object clause contains the most important objectives of the company and the objectives not included above. So, object which is ancillary, which is important to achieve the main objectives of the company, that should be mentioned in the object clause of the company. Then liability clause of memorandum of association. Liability clause of memorandum of association clause is also a very important clause that states the liability of the members of the company, and the liability may be limited by shares or limited by guarantee. And this clause may be omitted in case of unlimited liability concept unlimited companies. So, so liability clause is liability clause mentions the liabilities of the members of the company. Liability is limited by nature. The liability is unlimited by nature. The liability is limited by guarantee. For some companies limited by share. Some companies limited by guarantee. And some companies are declared unlimited companies. So on the basis of liability is defined. But in the case of public company or private company, liability is limited by nature. But in the case of partnership and cooperative, liability is unlimited. But in the case of LLP, liability is limited. But there are certain cases, exceptions are there. Although liability is limited, but if you are doing wrongful activities, if you are harming the image of the company, if your hidden agenda is to harm the company, defame the company, misuse the name of the company, in that case you are personally liable and your liability is unlimited. Then come to the capital clause of MOA. MOA is the Memorandum of Association, and this clause mentions the maximum amount of capital that can be raised by the company. Maximum amount of capital that can be raised by the company. This capital clause mentioned, and the division of capital into shares also mentioned in this clause. The company cannot secure more capital than mentioned in this clause. So, some special rights and privileges are conferred on any type of shareholders are mentioned also be made in this clause. This clause mentions the total amount of capital, the maximum amount of capital the company can raise to buy the shares to the general public. And general public gets subscription to the shares and debentures of the company. So this clause mentions the total amount of capital, the maximum amount of capital that can be raised by the issue of shares, and division of capital into shares also mentioned, which are already specified in this clause. The company cannot secure more capital than mentioned in this clause. specified limit, the capital clause specified the limit beyond which you cannot secure capital. Okay, you can't issue more number of shares to raise more capital because the limit of capital is specified in your MOU. So you can't issue more number of shares to get the more capital to the company. For that, you have to pass a board meeting. You have to pass special resolution for increase in your capital limits. Because that is mentioned in the capital clause of the company. And if some special rights, privileges are conferred on any type of shareholders, it should also be mentioned in this capital clause, like some preference available to preference shareholders, some benefits available to equity shareholders. That should be mentioned. The rights and privileges available to equity shareholders, preference shareholders of the company, that should be mentioned in the capital clause of the company. The certain rights, certain privileges that is available to the shareholders of the company, that to be specified, described in the MOU of the company. Then come to the subscription clause of MOA of the companies. MOA means Memorandum of Association of the company, and it contains the name and address of the first subscribers. And subscribers to the memorandum must take at least one share, and the minimum number of members is 2 in case of private company and 7 in case of public company. It is about the details about the subscribers to memorandum. Subscribers who firstly sign the MOU of the company and to be submitted for the purpose of record at the register office of the company. So it should be signed, it's very mandatory to be signed by subscribers to memorandum and the first subscribers to the memorandum. It contains the important details of the subscribers, the names of the company, the name of the subscribers, the addresses of the subscribers, and at least one share. Subscribers must have at least one share to the memorandum. Subscribers to the memorandum must take at least one share. Then that person can sign on the MOU of the company for the purposes of the registration of the company. The minimum number of members is 2 in case of private company and 7 in case of public company. And thus the MOU of the company is the most important document. It is the foundation of the company. Then come to the Articles of Association. Articles of Association is an important document of a joint stock company. It contains rules, regulations and bylaws of the company, and they are related to the internal working and management of the company. So this is an article association defines the internal affairs of the company, internal management of the company. It defines internal management of the company, internal rules and regulations of the company, which is a company, whether it is public limited company or private limited company. It is, EU has to be prepared. If it is not prepared, public company can adopt table A, it is certain applicable to table A. But it is mandatory to be prepared by the public limited company, A of the company, and submit a copy of this to the ROC of the company for the purposes of incorporation of the company. And it contains all the important information about the company, internal policies of the company, internal guidelines, internal bylaws, internal rules and regulations of the company, internal management of the company, let's say, the internal workings of the company, let's say. And it plays a very important role. It plays a very important role in the affairs of the company, how company runs affairs, routine activities, operating activities, business activities. That is mentioned in the MOU of the company. Yes, it's a list of articles, number of articles about the directors of the company, about the members of the company, about the number of shares held by directors of the company, about the remuneration of the directors of the company, about the number of companies held by the directors of the company. How many companies directors can have? Can hold the office of directors? The number of companies the director can hold as the office of director. That is mentioned in the of the company. The number of shares, denomination of shares, owner shares, equity shares, everything is mentioned in the A of the company, the internal policies of the company. This is also a charter document of the company, and this is also a very mandatory document, important document for the registration of the company, for the purposes of having a company, to give incorporation to the company, and it mentioned the duties and rights of the members of the company between themselves. Then come to the articles of association. The contents of articles of association should not contradict with the Companies Act and MOA. Should not contradict. Whatever you mention, there should be no contradiction between the Companies Act. It should be as per the or according to the Companies Act 2013, or as whatever previous act is applicable until 26, it is as per that particular act, and it should not be contradict with the MOA of the company, that is Memorandum of Association of the company. The contents of articles of association should not be contradict. It should be uh, with Companies Act, as per the Companies Act, and it should be as per the MOA of the company. It should not go. It should not overlook your Companies Act. Should not overlook MOA of the company, and should contents uh, should be as per the provisions of the Companies Act 2013, and should support your MOA of the company. Should not include any point, any article, any content that is in contradiction with the Companies Act and with the MOA of the company. And if the document contains anything contrary to the Companies Act or the MOA, it will be inoperative. Okay, so but anything if it is specified that is not contrary to the Companies Act, that is not or which is contrary to the MOA, it will be declared inoperative. It will be declared inoperative. So, the document contains anything, information that is contrary to the Companies Act 2013 or contrary to the MOA of the company, then it will be declared inoperative by the register of the company. What is whatever you mentioned, that is not as per the Companies Act. That is not as per the provisions of the Companies Act. Okay, your document, your A of the company should support Companies Act, support the Indian Companies Act 2013, and should support your MOU to achieve your objectives of the company as per the name clause of the subsidiary clause of the company, capital clause of the company. It should not be go against or overlook the MOU of the company. Then the private concerns that are limited by shares and those limited by guarantee and unlimited companies must have their articles of association. So private concerns that are private concerns with private limited companies are there, and those having limited liability, liability limited by shares or liability limited by guarantee, or you can say companies limited by shares or company limited by guarantee, or we can say unlimited. These are the types of companies on the basis of liability. Companies limited by shares, companies limited by guarantee, and unlimited companies must have their articles of association that contains a list of articles, long list of articles. So that is a private concern. Private concern means a private company, so that is limited by shares or limited by guarantee. Our unlimited companies must have their articles of association of the company. A private concern means a private limited company. This is about the company that is categorization on the basis of liability, on the basis of liability of its members, limited by shares or limited by guarantee, or unlimited companies are there. So they have to mention their articles of association. So, public companies may not have the articles, but may adopt modern articles given in Table A of Schedule 1 of Companies Act 1956. Okay, so public company may not having the articles, But public company can adopt model articles given in table A or schedule 1 of companies Act 6. And if public company has some article of its own for its articles of table A will be applicable. Then come to the contents of articles of association. Contents of articles of association. Articles generally deal with the following. The content that is included in your A or the company. Number one content is the classes of shares, the class of shares, that is preference share, equity share, cumulative preference shares, non-cumulative preference shares, sweat equity shares are there. So right shares are there, the class of shares are there, bonus shares are there. So you have to specify your class of shares, their values, and the rights attached to each of them. Rights, there are certain rights attached to the shares. So you have to specify your rights attached to the shares. Then calls on shares and transfer of shares, forfeiture, conversion of shares, and alteration of capital. That is mentioned in the articles of association in the content section, the contents of articles of association, the following contents: the call on shares, the transfer of shares, forfeiture of shares, if you not paid your amount of share capital on time, whatever amount you already paid on shares, the company has a right to forfeit the shares, to the forfeiture procedure, forfeiture guidelines or policies with respect to forfeiture of shares that is mentioned in the name of the company, and then conversion of shares, alteration capital, that is also mentioned in the articles of association of the company. Then point number C is about directors' appointment. Appointment of directors, their powers, their duties, their roles and responsibilities, their rights, meeting, the review of directors, the remuneration of directors, appointment of independent directors, non-independent directors, executive directors, non-executive directors, that is first director of the company, subsequent directors of the company. That is mentioned, rotational directors of the company. That is mentioned in the A of the company, directors of the company. So directors, their appointment, powers and duty, etc. That is mentioned in the articles of association of the company. Directors, their appointment, their powers, duties, etc. Then meetings and minutes notices. That is also a part of A of the company. The time of holding general meetings of the company, board meetings of the company, extraordinary meetings of the company, and the preparation of the minutes of the company. After holding the meeting, minutes are prepared and signed by the members of the company those are present in that particular meeting, and it's a common seal of the company, signatures of the members of the company, and submitted a copy of this minutes of the meeting to the RC of the company with the notice, along with the notice of the meeting. So there are certain condition guidelines for the issuing of notices of the meetings and which meetings to be conducted mandatory for the company. There are certain provisions available to private companies. There is no need to hold annual general meetings in the case of private company, but it is mandatory for public company to hold annual general meetings once in a year after completion of the financial year, 31st March financial year. So how to hold a meeting, how to do a meeting, how to issue notice of the meeting. There are certain requirements to issue notice of the meeting at least 21 days before the meeting, and that date will be clear 21 days, excluding Sunday and public holidays. And meeting should be held at the registered office of the company at any time and place, only at the registered office of the company. So time, place, and agenda of the meeting is mentioned in the notices of the meeting, and there are certain procedures involved in issuing of notice, filing of all your documents, holding and conducting meetings. Minutes of the meeting is very important. Sign signature of the company secretaries and seal or the minutes of the meeting, that makes a document a valid document. Otherwise, it is declared invalid because signature and stamp of CAs are important. Auditor stamp is CA signatures and auditor signature is very important. The minutes of the meetings of the company. So these are the contents. These are the contents of article association of the company. It should mention the rules regarding conducting meetings, holding meetings, and issuing notice of the meeting, and submitting a copy of these notices and meetings to the RC for the purposes of record and to be issued to general public in the case of inspection and investigation or on public demand on payment of nominal fees, registration fees to the RC of the company. Any person can inspect the books of accounts of the company and inspect these important documents of the company. The minutes of the meeting is very important. What is discussed in the meeting, conclusions of the meeting, concluding remarks of the meeting. What is very important content of the article session, meeting minutes and notices, etc. Then accounts and audit, the preparations of accounts, audit the accounts, as per WMT system is same, similar system is same. There are certain accounts of non-profit organizations in place, auditing of account is so auditing procedures are there, certain you have to file complex returns as well. You have to annually auditing the account is very compulsory for the auditing companies, so annual audit of the accounts and submitted the auditing reports and all to the RC of the company. That is mandatory. The account has to be prepared annually, compile all the accounts, accounting statements and all, financial statements and all, and copy of all the bills and all to be attached with the financial statements, annexure the financial statement, and copy of the reports to be submitted to the RC for the purposes of the incorporation, for the purposes of the record purposes. Then appointment of and remuneration to auditors, appointment of there are certain eligibility conditions for the appointment of auditors, there are certain qualifications required to be appointed as auditor of the company. The person must be of CA, must be practicing CA, must have knowledge of financial accounting and all. And these are certain conditions for the appointment of auditor. That should be mentioned in the article section. The conditions, qualifications, disqualification for to be appointed as auditor of the company, and when to vacate the office of the auditor of the company. There are certain conditions where auditor has to immediately vacate the office of the auditor. In the case auditor is indulging something wrong practices, insider trading and all. So auditor has to vacate some intention is not to cheat the company, to defraud the company. In that case, you have to find out the persons behind the real persons behind this intention is to defame the company. Real persons behind the company who actually are interested is to destroy or damage the image of the company. So their appointment, their qualification, disqualification, and remuneration to auditors is also specified in the articles of association. So